I'd like to introduce you now to Denise, and she's got a couple of border collies. I met her a long time ago at a show, and I'd like her to explain how she's got interested in working these border collies apart from just the obedience aspect of it.
Well, I'm a dog trainer. I teach pet obedience and I teach agility as well. And I've always wanted to work in sheepdog because you get so few chances really to see a dog do what it really has been bred to do. With pet dogs, primarily people have got things like elk hounds and Burmese mounted dogs. You don't get an opportunity to do that in this country, to see what they're really designed to do. But with a border collie, luckily, with the likes of Thomas around, you get the chance to do that. So, so this is Connor. This is my dog Connor, and he's nearly 3 now, and he's been here 3 times, hasn't he?
Yeah, and it's a fantastic dog. It's really natural ability, and it makes the training so much easier. And because she's got a good aspect of working with dogs, she's going to get on really well. This dog's going to go to the competitions and do really well this next winter.
Hopefully. That's the plan.
Yeah, considering she's only been here 3 times, it's fantastic what this dog has learnt in such a short space of time. And that's what always amazes me. People come to the barn, they stay for 3 days, and the dog can totally change in 3 days, become a completely different animal.
Yeah, they can.
I prefer them to stay for a week, mind. Let's see what you can do. When you're training these border collies, I always think everybody's got their own speed of training. That's it. I see the dog is like an automatic pilot, he just goes behind them. That dog is just natural. That's the 3rd time it's been to the sheep, and that's just natural. That's what they've been bred for hundreds of years. What I like about this dog is he has a really good effect on the sheep. The sheep really like him, and he's gifted. He makes lovely turns around the sheep. You know, that's only the 3rd time he's making a nice circle around. He doesn't want to be too wide, doesn't want to be too close. And he just brings along the sheep, sort of melt away in front of him. It's really nice the way he works. It's up to her how much time she spends now teaching him left and right. He doesn't know left and right yet. To me, the most important thing is that the dog has a nice relationship with the sheep and makes nice circles around. And typical of a young dog, they're a bit like teenagers. They tend to break 1 or 2 things before they get it right, and they've got to make mistakes. I don't particularly want to take all the nature out of the dog. They've got to have their own little bit of fun as well. I certainly don't want a robot. I want an animal that can think for itself. You know, sometimes the sheep are half a mile away, and they've got to think for themselves a lot of the time. I'd say some of the handlers are more high maintenance than the dogs. Whenever you're going to train your dog, you should listen to what the person says and then make your own mind up afterwards, because the only thing you take home is your dog. And it's when you go to a sheepdog trial, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter what happens at the trial, the only thing you're taking home is your dog. So you've got to sort of work out, was that a good experience for the dog or not? And I think I'd like to teach them, don't work or do anything that you don't want your dog to do, but assess it afterwards. The dog doesn't need to have any fantastic breeding behind it. It can just be an ordinary pet, and you'd be amazed how many pets come along and will actually work the sheep. They've probably taken them to the park somewhere, and these dogs are making little circles going around the trees, or maybe going around watching children, or seeing a rabbit or something wanting to chase. And 9 times out of 10 those dogs will want to work the sheep. Denise is starting to make longer outruns now. She was only starting with 20 outruns, now she's stretched. If this is just the 3rd time. An outrun is the line that the dog takes to get to the far side of the sheep. The outrun should be to the side of the field. The ideal is a pear-shaped outrun. And she can go on now and spend half an hour training, whatever time she's got. It's up to her now to go as far as she wants with this dog.